Here we go. Welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real on Purpose. What happens when a parent is fading? Who cares for the caregiver? Today's conversation is a powerful one, and it's going to be unfiltered with guests Teresa Phillips and Jordan Gobert. Together, we'll explore what it really means to care for an ailing parent into the final days. The emotional strain, the silent expectations, and the lasting impact on identity, relationships, and mental well being. Welcome to the show, Teresa Phillips and Jordan Gobert.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
so who wants to go first to tell us all about who you are?
Teresa, lead the way.
All right. Sure. My name is Teresa Phillips. I've been a caregiver for my dad up to the last 4 years. I also do podcasts and music. I'm going to start out by saying I don't think that people really understand the harshness sometimes of the dynamics between the parent's supposed to take care of you. You're not supposed to take care of the parent. And I've done this twice.
Wow.
It's been gone 4 years, December the 9th. So it's really hard because you have the double expectation. You've got to be the caregiver, but at the same time, you're the child, and sometimes those don't mesh.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't mesh, but you've got to do what you've got to do to make sure that your parent is taken care of. Medicine, blood pressure, making sure that they are taken care of. And I will say this honestly, you never prepared for when they draw that last breath. I wasn't. I thought I was.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
And that's been a tough 4-year transition, but yet it's made me stronger. I'm more resilient than what I could have been. It's just amazing the changes that can be, or they're seen. But it was really hard. It was really hard for me to do because at the last I had to step away from being a caregiver for one 24-hour period and then turn into the daughter to get something done for dad that he really desperately needed. And there were other people that were balking. I'm like, look, if this isn't fixed, I'm gone. I had to do that for him.
Yeah.
And I would do it again in a New York second without a second thought. That was,
In a New York
it is
second.
hard, but I'm glad I went.
I love the New York second. Okay. All right. Jordan?
Yes. So,
Hi,
aloha.
Jordan.
My name is Jordan Gobert. I originally hail from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Currently reside in beautiful central Pennsylvania with my bride and our 2 children. I have an 8-year-old stepdaughter and an 18-month-old daughter.
Wow.
My story revolves around my partial identity, because I think we all hold different identities. And my primary identity based off of this podcast. When I was 9 years young, my father, who was a Marine Corps veteran, served in Vietnam, was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And for those of you that don't know, Parkinson's is a neurological disorder, causes tremors, and there's no cure for it. So he's 9. I'm 9 years old. My dad's 48 years young. He was a
Wow.
triathlete, marathoner, and that dynamic, it just right away, like everything changed.
Yeah.
I'm 9 years old. I'm learning how to throw a baseball. I'm learning how to ride a bike, and I was talking to my wife about this before, like as I'm thinking about coming into this podcast, what is my body saying to me? How
Right. Yeah.
Right? And
I was going to ask you that too. I was like, what is your body saying right now?
yeah, and I think the main thing that that I want to present forward with this is that there are identities that we all have, multiple identities. Like the one that was bestowed upon me and the one that was bestowed upon Teresa was the caregiver. But there's also the other parts of us as well that we hold. There are, like, I want to know more about who Teresa is outside of being a caregiver. Like,
Mhm.
who is Jordan outside of that? But it's that dynamic, that relationship, that with that persona
Right,
shaped us and sculpted us into the kind of
right,
version. It's like Teresa said in a New York second, like do it again in a heartbeat. Like it's something that molded us and it moved us to who we are today. And
right,
I do believe that there is a place for it because our society, with the shifts that we're in, we don't focus as much on the caregiver. We
right.
focus on the person that's being cared for. Like
Yeah,
my father being
exactly,
military
Right.
had
exactly.
the
Yeah,
support and the financial support and the care, but what about the caregiver? So,
yeah, yeah,
Right.
so yeah,
People
that's
don't
me in a
understand
nutshell
that.
with it.
yeah, absolutely. Um, what brings to mind is a question for me is, what was your first emotion? Because I'm listening to both of you, and yes, it made you stronger. But I like to get to the real, like the nuts and bolts, because no one at
Right.
9 wants to be a caregiver. Let's be real, okay? No one. We're thinking about going outside, like you said, riding your bike, right? And no one in the prime of their life probably, wants to take on a situation, maybe to take care of someone else when I could be going out dancing, doing something I want to do. There has to be some realism there. Like, what was the first emotion you remember feeling? I'll give it to Jordan first.
Yeah, fear.
Okay. Okay.
Absolute, yes, absolute fear of the unknown.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Teresa?
Same thing. I mean,
Yeah.
just petrified, that, okay, what happens if I make a mistake? I mean, it's just like,
Yeah.
what, you know, I know how to do this. It's just, what if I make a mistake? It's
Right.
just terror because you don't know every day, what situation you're going to be walking into. And it's never the same moment by moment either,
Right.
especially in their last stages.
Yeah. That's a scary part. You never know which direction it's going to go in. Did either one of you have to have like a DNR or anything like that in those situations?
Dad did. My
Okay.
dad, because of everything that was going wrong with him, he did have a clinical DNR, do not resuscitate, and the entire
Okay.
family knew about it.
Yeah. Okay.
So we honored that request.
Okay. Okay.
Yep, and the same goes for me as well. My
Yeah.
father. So my father battled for 20 years with Parkinson's.
Oh
Um,
wow. Oh
yeah, that was
wow.
that was quite the dance. And yeah, for the first 4 years, it didn't take on too bad. But then after that 4 years, he had because of the care that was given from it took 4 years before the Veteran Association acknowledged that Parkinson's was a direct
Wow. Okay.
to
So you
the
were just on the
exposure
cusp of
to
that.
chemotherapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we had 4 years where we had no idea what was going to happen, how things were going to
Right.
go. And then he was able to get neurological brain stimulators for both hemispheres of his brain to help control the tremors. Now, a majority of the individuals that I know of don't have access to that. So you go
Right.
into the places and you'll see individuals who are constantly shaking with both sides or one side. But my father was able to get that. And it was,
Mm.
I think, the last 4 years of his life. That's when my mother and he decided, like, yes, DNR were
Right. 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 Oh, that must have been heavy. Oh, it sounds so heavy. I'm a caregiver, but the person is my sister who's younger than I. But she just happened to be that 1% of persons that gets dementia at an early age. She started at 40 something.
oh.
Yeah, and she's doing well
That's
now.
hard.
She's not in any, like, that part of that deterioration hasn't happened yet, and then it's been 10 years or more. So she happened to say, "Hey, if anything ever happens to me," she handed me over a power of attorney, and it just happened the year after this all started happening. And like you, I was like, I was devastated. I was like, this is not, this doesn't happen. This is not normal. And I was already in the throes of my life. I was in China. when this happened. I was living in China, so I had to return. So yeah, I haven't gotten to the point, that the death part or anything like that, but I know how devastating that can be. What's the hardest part of managing your own life while carrying the weight of caring for your parents? And walk us through that as you talk about it, please.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Teresa, if you don't mind, I'll jump into this real quick.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh! Immediately, what rises top of heart, top of mind with that is guilt. Guilt with moving forward, progressing with my life because of in from my perspective, it wasn't my mother, my father. They didn't bestow anything on me. They didn't say anything out loud like Jordan, like this is your responsibility. It was something that I guess you could almost say naturally came to me. I'm the baby of the family. I was the last one to leave the nest, and I really didn't leave the nest, and I didn't want to leave the nest.
Right.
It was absolute guilt towards pursuing things that brought me joy, because I also felt like, oh my gosh, like yeah, I can go experience X, Y, Z, but my dad can't, or my mother can't. So it was like trying to care for
Right.
both parents in that way, as opposed to just one. But that was my experience.
Oh, that's
Okay.
good.
Now mine,
Okay.
mine was just a little bit different. The stress was unimaginable. Uh, Dad, before he had his final decline, he knew I liked music. He got me to go back and do my music again. I had to practically be forced to go back into doing my music again. But he made me promise. Something happened to him, I keep up with it. And I've kept that promise. I have kept that promise. But he made sure that I had time out because I wasn't the only caregiver. I mean, there were three others besides me.
Mm,
But we all, I mean, that's what he required. He required four caregivers and round the
wow.
clock care. And
Wow.
we all rotated. Even on my days off, I would be worried sick about him kind of staying around the house. And Dad finally told the head caregiver, she got make her go out, make her go and enjoy herself. Because I wouldn't. I
Wow.
mean, I was so laser focused on him. And then now that he's passed, I've been trying to get through the grief and everything. Like I said, December 9th was only a couple days ago. He's been gone 4 years. So sometimes the holidays are extremely hard for me. Death
Right.
dates, birth dates. But
Right.
I've found that I've become a lot stronger since going through this. I mean, it's like, look, Dad wouldn't want you to grieve. You know what you promised him. Live your life. Live your life fully. That's the only thing he ever asked of you. Do so. A lot of times when we're
Mhm.
grieving, we'll tend to cocoon ourselves and we'll tend to hide from the world.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
can't get it. I can't do that anymore. I mean, I've got to get out and live my life and live
Yeah.
my life for myself. That was the one
Right.
thing he insisted
Well, that's good. Is there a moment from that time, painful or powerful, that still stays with you today?
on. His last breath. His last breath. That was the
Mm.
most powerful thing. He had gone downhill steadily since August. He'd had a last hospitalization. He was totally incontinent, totally blind. And it was just like, it leading up to his passing, anytime I was on duty, I was scared I would watch him breathe his last. I mean, that's how close we actually were. And then when
Wow.
he did breathe his last, it's just like I shattered. I mean, somebody asked me, "Do you want to see his body go out?" I said, "No, I can't do that." I said, "I watched mama go out. I
Mm.
can't do that. There's just no way."
Right.
But
Right.
I mean, in the years since then, it's like he gave you a gift, use it. Make something of yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Mhm.
That's
That's
really all
good.
I can say at this point because I'm trying not to cry as it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Let
good.
those healing waters flow, Teresa.
That's right. Healing waters. That's right.
Yes. From my perspective, with my father, with our situation, um, with the circumstances, the cards that we were dealt, there were multiple times where we thought he was going. And the resilient old Marine in him, like he battled back. There were over the past, let's see, so he passed away December 26th of 2017, and I think the day of his passing is a memory that's etched because it was the day after Christmas. Family was all around. He was surrounded by loved ones. I was hanging onto his hand as he took his last breath. And then before that, 2 or 3 years, there was another time where he was thinking about, like, we thought he was going to be going. And then another 2 or 3 years before that, we thought it was going to be going. So those moments, some of them were traumatic in that sense. But I think the most pivotal memory is that the day that he passed, December 26th, and the Irish wake that we had after he had passed, the family that we were around, we were able to celebrate because my mother's family is Scottish and Irish. So naturally we had an Irish blessing. And that's for sure the something that sticks out the most.
Well, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. How did the caregiving experience shape your sense of responsibility, boundaries, or the way you show up for people right now?
It's made things a lot actually easier because in my younger years, I didn't have those boundaries. It taught me a great responsibility. It taught me boundaries. It taught me to stand up for myself. Even, my father and I had several disagreements during the time I was taking care of it. I could basically just put that down to father-daughter dynamic. But it's taught me, look, stand by your boundaries, do what you say you're going to do, and just do the best you can. I mean, you can't, for somebody that's not an RN, which I wasn't a nurse. And I don't have any nursing training. So, I mean, it's still, what medicines it takes to make sure, when you put them out, you count them, make sure everything is in place. You make sure that, he does his input and output, or you do it for him. And it's just like, if I can go through this, not once but twice, because he was my last surviving parent. My mother died in 2006 of leukemia. Not leukemia, but lymphoma. And Dad died of a variety of causes, mainly organ failure. So it's taught me a lot. And I'm looking at myself 4 years ago as a parent. So now I'm totally different. I'm a lot more confident. Okay, yeah, you worry, but worrying's not gonna stop the situation. It's just gonna add to what you're already doing.
I love that, Teresa. Kind of piggybacking off of what Teresa shared. Boundaries, healthy boundaries with love. Recognizing and respecting my boundaries enough to be able to share them and be able to recognize that another individual has their own stressors and has their life that's causing chaos of some sort. Could be chaos, could be ugly chaos. But being able to be able to know myself on such a level to where I can express that to another individual if they're crossing a boundary or what that boundary is, so they don't hopefully cross it. And if they do, recognize and help them to respect that. And then also being able to live my life, even though I'm not doing everything that I should. I don't take care of myself as well as I could or should. And I have those thoughts go through my head of like, if Dad were here, if he had, your health,
right?
He gives IT to have your health, and it's like my mother always shared is like, thank God for every ordinary day and praise Him for every extraordinary.
Right.
That's a good one. I like that, ordinary day, like an ordinary day.
Yeah,
that's beautiful, Jordan. That's really is. I like that. Because I know the hustle and bustle for the both of you. I know even for what I was going through was like I didn't have a moment to think. Like I didn't, because I had my own apartment.
That happened.
I had my own apartment, and I had
It's
to
just like
leave
you're
my
off
apartment
entirely.
and go over there to be with her because she had no care.
Mm,
It was hard. It was very hard. Like
yes,
ordinary days are the best, Jordan. Or the ordinary days are the best.
exactly.
They are. I love that. I love it. I'm sorry. Did I cut you off, Teresa? What did you say?
No, no. I just said, yeah, that's right. I mean, you once you're in caregiving mode, I mean, you're not even focused on yourself or outward appearances. I mean, you're focusing on your parent,
Yeah.
taking care of them. I mean, you basically take last place. And
Yeah.
if you don't do something to relieve the stress, because it
Yeah.
builds. If you don't do, if you have time off or somebody can spell you for about an hour or so, go do something that you enjoy. Because if you don't, you're going to snap eventually, sooner or later, under all the pressure.
Yeah.
That's what I found out.
Yeah. That's great. I found that after I was able to get my sister care and everything, did you guys find yourselves being over caregivers to everybody else? Like seriously, like a
Yes.
person
Oh,
walking
yes.
through the door at the store and you're grabbing the door,
Yep.
right? Did you find
Yes.
yourself doing those
Yes,
things?
and I've done it. I've done it. I did it. I still do it.
Yeah, right. You over caregive, like, oh, I gotta stop that. It's almost like you gotta turn the switch off because I was taking
Right.
on too much. Like, did you find yourselves taking on too much? After your parents have passed on, then you're like almost to say, now what do I do? Kind of thing. Like, have you
Mhm.
asked yourselves those type of questions or done those type of things?
All the time,
Yeah.
all the time. It's almost like
I'll second what Jordan has said all the doggone time.
mhm,
I mean that's a hamster wheel you really can't get off once you start doing
Yeah,
that. I
yeah,
mean it's like it just keeps going and going and going.
mhm.
yeah,
Correct. Yes, it's a pattern. It's a learned behavior. It's something
yeah.
that can, I believe, psychology would say. My wife's a psychologist, so I should know this. But I believe it's a learned behavior that can be unlearned, but it's just
Yes,
those neural pathways are like
yes,
real rock solid and
Right.
calcified.
yeah.
So it's if I'm walking in the city, my wife and I were just in New York, and it's just like my heart breaks, like seeing a whole bunch
Yes,
of
yes.
people help, and it could even be situations with my daughter, and it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
so much that just wants to care, give, and it's like,
Yes, yes.
oh, they got to live their life.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. And like you're not living in the moment, right? Like you said, you're out with your family or whatever, and then you see something that's happening, and you're like focused over there, and like they're going this way.
Right.
It's like you have to come back, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's why I asked about the boundaries. Even now, we're still on automatic, like you said. The neural pathways are still there. I had to fire myself. Like I had to say, it's over. Okay. I quit. I had to do that. And I often have to do that now. Even if somebody calls me and asks me a question, okay, you're overgiving. Stop it now. You got to stop yourself. Has that happened to you? Like, seriously, like, give us an example so that the audience knows what it looks like.
Well, I had a good friend that came and visit me. She wasn't feeling too good, so I, asked her what was going on, and I started, trying to help her, and she politely reminded me, I can do this on my own. Hey, I apologize. She's going, no, I
That's good.
understand. Understand.
Yeah,
She said,
yeah,
no harm, no foul.
yeah, right.
You be caregiver for so long, both with your mom and now with your dad, that it's just become a part of you. She
Right.
said, don't have any problem with it, but you can't help. And there's something I want to.
That's good.
You don't
That's a
you
good
want to
friend.
help everybody that's in pain, but the problem is some of them will not let you. Some of them you can't help because you're not the right type of help that they need.
Yeah, exactly.
Your heart breaks into a million pieces, but yet there's really nothing you can do about it. It just
Hmm.
send prayers, send energy, send light. That's really all you can do, and that's been the
That's
hardest
it.
lesson for me to learn in the last 4 years.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I
Jordan?
can. There's so many situations that rise up. I think the first the biggest one with me is uh, I used to work at a car dealership, and lots of young individuals. I'm 37, so these young individuals are like in their early 20s, and
Right.
they're coming to me with sharing some life stories, and I try to create a safe space for individuals to share the things that they may not share with other people. And when they begin sharing, I can feel my brain start to pivot down those pathways of going like, okay, I'm seeing what I can do to help, what I can do to help.
Right.
Right.
Whoa, buddy, like back the train. They're not asking you for help. They're just sharing.
Exactly.
Yes, that's
That's
it. They're not asking for help, right? They're
Yes.
sharing.
Yep.
Yeah. That's good, Jordan. I'm telling you, we do it so because, like you said, the neural pathways, where it's a habit we've learned now, and we've been doing it so long and so many times that we have to literally turn it off, And I even like just recently, my oldest son was asking me something and talking to me about an issue, and I was like, he doesn't need to hear my point of view, And sometimes doing that, I find with myself, I hurt them more than I help them because I don't
Yeah.
give them the opportunity to help themselves. So I had to say, oh no, zip my mommy lips and let him figure it out. And he figured it out on his own. And I was like, kudos to you. So, you even have to cut it off, like, even with helping your children sometimes, and like you said, friends. I even stopped that too. I was like, I have a friend that has like a big problem. I was like, oh, I can't help with this one. This is like not my thing. Like I can't help with this,
Right.
but just send light, send prayers, all of that good stuff. But I can't help with it. This is something. Some loads are not ours, and we took ours or our crosses. We took those, and we did great with them. But now, then, this human side of us has to say, okay, whoa, like you guys said, whoa, that's enough. Whoa, because we'll never get to doing things for us to have a great life. We'll never get to that. Never, ever. Right? What do you say about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, let's hit to the end part now. So after parent pass, how did you experience the shift of your attitude toward family, toward aging? We'll take them one at a time, and your own emotional needs. So towards family, towards aging, what did you learn in the process of all of this that you can apply to your own life and your own emotional needs? That's a big one, right?
That's big. That's big. I like it. I dig. For me, what I recognized after the passing of my father, towards my family, I felt lost. I felt the because that identity then
Same. Yeah, same.
to an end, and I didn't know who I was supposed to be after that
Right.
because I didn't know where I identified, who I identified as. So, okay, Jordan, you're a human, and outside of that, no idea. And then I felt a lot of resentment towards my family, especially my brother and my sisters, because they were living their lives and they were
Right.
building their
Yes.
family.
Yes.
I wasn't, and I didn't, but it was my choice, and that's what I
Right.
kept to go back to.
Yeah.
But still, I was still stuck in my child brain, going,
Right.
"Where is everybody? Why isn't everybody?
Right.
Are they here to help?" And I couldn't
That's
correlate.
right.
So that was towards the family. But then from the age standpoint and moving on, it's still is something that I struggle with to this day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like life happening in spirals and giving you an opportunity to re-heal the things that were causing you pain.
Right.
And I come across these cycles over and over again of like, okay, I can pivot now and I can go towards something different or something new that I want to pursue and do. And it wants to go back into something caregiving and care responding and
Mm-hmm.
responding to life
I feel
instead
that.
of initiating. So those are the couple of things that rise up.
Yeah, that's good. Did you learn something, Jordan? Did you learn something like maybe I'm not going to put myself in this situation that my kids have to do this? Did you learn something about that aging process at all? That you can apply to your own life. Maybe I know for me, I learned prepare.
Mhm.
Get prepared. And have like this setup so that if something happens, because it is hard, and one, like I know with my sister, I was like, where the heck is I have 5 siblings. Where the frick is everybody? Why is everybody calling me? I'm here in China. Like, why do I have to come home? Like, why do I have to stop my life? But I felt like that, just like you did. But I was very resentful of him. I was like, you can do. One was a social worker, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you know how to do this. Wait till I get home, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But, the things I learned with my sister is like I had to be prepared for anything. Like what she taught me was like she was young when we found this out, and she had that letter already done, and I was her power of attorney and her that medical one, I forget what it's called. And she had everything already set up. And so I learned, okay, I have to be set ready. I don't know what's going to happen. So I learned that,
Right.
like, that into my life. Like, okay, I got to be prepared. I got to make sure that my family's not overburdened with things. Did you learn
Yes.
any
Right.
of
Yep.
Yeah.
I
I'd
will
like to get,
piggyback right onto that because that's perfect. And sorry to interrupt, Teresa. I'll just say this
that's
quick
all right.
snippet and then it's over to you, Teresa. But from me, I resonate with that deeply. Is the preparedness. My father, being the veteran that he was able to be in a veteran's home. He had that
Gotcha.
from day one, but we took it on ourselves to try and care for him
Right.
as long as we could. And then for the
Right.
last 4 years of his life, he was in a veteran's home. I
Right.
don't have that if something
Right.
goes south. Now, the Parkinson's, I don't believe it's going to be genetic based. I believe it was because of the Agent Orange. So I
Right.
don't feel that that's going to be a something that I'm going to have to worry about, but there could be
Right.
something else. So
Right.
being able to be preemptive, getting us
Right.
into a financial position, and making sure that we have the P's and Q's and the I's dotted, T's crossed,
Yes.
yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure, from a financial standpoint and legality
Yes.
wise.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Yeah.
Teresa?
Well, I can piggyback off of what both of you are saying. Yeah, I went through the same thing. Resentment. I have family. My father reached out to them. They didn't want anything to do with him, so I was the one, and I got really resentful of that. But you know something? My father and I had been estranged until he called me and asked me and
Mm,
come down and take care of him.
hmm
I wasn't. I dropped everything and went. I burned bridges. Okay, so what? But I mean, there was resentment. Like, why can't you let the past go? Why can you not let what happened in the past go? Because I got to see the change. They
mm,
didn't want to. And that really made me angry. But at the same time, you know, it happens. And it's like, you know, you think I'm crazy. Well, I'm not. I mean, I was always taught to give people a second chance, regardless. I mean, my
mm,
mother made sure I did that. But the thing of it is, as far as aging, I'm not really that concerned about it. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm 61,
hmm
and I'm not really that worried about aging. I mean, I know what runs in the family lines, but I'm not worried about it. I mean,
hmm
fear's just going to shorten my life. Why do it? Just live my life the best way I can. If something comes up, do
Gotcha.
the best I
Okay.
can with it, with whatever resources I have. And if not, you know, I'm just looking at it like live every day as if it was my last.
This is so very true. Yeah, this is so very true. Very true. Got that. All right. So we're at the ending part of this. If there's any audience members out there, I know a couple have been peeking in and peeking out. What would you tell them if they're a caregiver right at this moment and give them some inspiration?
To you, Teresa.
I would, all right. I would say hang in there. And that's the hardest thing to do. I mean, especially if you're the only one giving care to a parent, hang in there. You reach out, use your resources. If you because there are
That's a good
people
one.
that there are agencies that will have somebody sit with the person in question. Use those. I mean, I didn't do that, but that was personal choice. It was offered to me. I refused it. But it's like, hang in there, you know, realize that you're doing the best you can and realize that when that time comes, you regardless of how prepared you are, you're not gonna be. Don't
Yeah.
beat yourself up is the main thing, especially once your parent passes. Don't beat yourself up. Don't do the what if game because all that's going to do is just hurt you. And I did it twice.
Mm,
Hang in because you've got people around you somewhere that have been where you are.
that's good.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Jordan, your turn.
Amen, Teresa. Amen to
Thank you,
that.
Teresa. Mm-hmm.
Um, the to the folks, and I'm gonna look straight into the camera here. Is I know it's difficult, and this is kind of like I'm almost speaking to my inner child too, um, and speaking to my mom. Trauma is stored in our soft tissue. Like these bodies, these meat machines, like they're beautiful works of art, and they're very intelligent. And my wife's a somatic practitioner, and I'm recognizing the importance of ridding our bodies from that trauma. Stress is the number one killer of all human beings, ever. And when we, as caretakers, hold and withhold, there's a certain capacity that we all have.
Mm,
We need to find that pressure release valve because
yep.
it's not getting any easier because the person that you're caring for, the loved one that you're caring for, feels your energy before they hear your
Oh
energy.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Very true. Very true.
You
Yes.
cannot fill from an empty cup.
Oh
And I wish I would have learned that at a younger age.
yeah.
But
Same here.
you got to fill your cup before you can spill into others.
Yeah.
And like there are people who care about you, and it's like there are lots of people who you can trust, but you got to find them and you got to have those boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah. I love what
Amen.
you guys ended with. Ask for help, reach out for the resources. Because I'm gonna tell you, I didn't think I thought I was alone in just caring, and I wasn't. And then I went to a caregiving group at a library, and I was like, I exhaled. It was like, yeah, I exhaled. So, I agree with both of you. Just, ask, get that help. This has been an incredible, powerful conversation. And it has to be had because I don't hear too many people sharing their stories like this. Everything's peachy, I guess, at some point. But Teresa and Jordan, thank you both for your courage and your honesty to sharing what is truly meant to navigate this final days of your parents and aftermath of caring for loved ones. Your stories remind us, all of us who have walked this path, that we are seen and we are not alone. To everyone out there, remember those words that Teresa and Jordan has left us, and look for their information in the content section of this video or this audio, and you will be able to get in touch with them. So don't think you have to struggle by yourself. This is Edna White, your host of Keeping It Real on Purpose, and my esteemed guests, Teresa and Jordan. We're going to bid you goodbye for now.